This is the solution to exercise 7a, where we're going to specify a build pack when deploying an application. So to start with, let's log into Bluemix if not already there. And for this exercise, you'd need to make sure that you've got sufficient resources in your account. So you can remove the applications created from previous exercises if you haven't already done so. We won't need those again. So just make sure that you've got sufficient resource to be able to do an exercise. And in this exercise, we're going to be using the Go programming language. Now, Bluemix does have built-in support for Go. So you can use Go without specifying a build pack. But for this exercise, we're going to assume that we want to bring in the latest Cloud Foundry build pack. So the first thing we need to do is create a program. So I'm going to go and set up on my desktop. I'm going to create a new folder called exercise 7. And I'm going to be working inside that folder. So I'm going to open that folder within the Atom browser. Just tidy up. And here we have an empty browser. So I right click on the folder and say new file. And this file is going to be called app.go. And then I can simply copy in the code from the exercise. So this is the Go programming language. We enter at function main. We're going to set up a new handler for the default URL, which is down here. And we're simply going to enter or return hello world as the content. Again, we listen to the environment variable port to make sure that we pick up the correct port to listen on from Bluemix. And that's a very simple hello world application. We need to create another 2 files. The first one we call procfile, and that is simply web app, and then save that. And then finally we create another file called .go.dir, and that simply has the name of the app to start. So we just need to make sure that we save all 3 files and then open up a command prompt. I've got the Bluemix console in the background. In the command prompt, we need to change the directory that we've been working in, where our code lives. So if I do a dir, you'll see I have my 3 files, the .go.dir, app.go, and procfile. And then I just need to check where I'm logged into. So CFT will show me the current target. If you're not logged in, you'll need to do a CFL to log in, specifying the correct API endpoint for the UK or the US regions. So to deploy my application, I need to do a CF push. But before I do that, I just want to explain one other thing about the latest Cloud Foundry build pack for Go. Within Cloud Foundry and Bluemix, when I stage an application, it uses a default stack. And that default stack is the base operating system file. If I type cf stacks, it lists the stacks that are currently installed. And you see there are two here. One's built on Ubuntu 10.4 and the other one is built on Ubuntu 14.04. And the latest Go build pack requires the updated version of the stack. So that's the Ubuntu 14.4 version. So when I deploy an application using that, I also have to add an additional option to force it to use that newer stack. If I don't do that, when I try and deploy, I will get an error message. When I use the built-in build packs, they will all work out of the box. But when I bring in a build pack, an external build pack, I may run into an issue where it wants a newer version of the stack that's not the default on the current platform. So CF stacks will list all of the stacks available on the platform. And then if I do need something that's not the default, I have to provide an additional parameter. So to deploy my application, I do cf push. I then give it a name. And then I can specify the build pack. And we are going to use the build pack from GitHub, Cloud Foundry, build pack go.git. And then I need to provide this stack command, so -s, and then we want the name of the updated stack, which is here. And this is now going to deploy my application, pull in the build pack from GitHub, and there we are. We are now running. So if I move into my console, I can now click the link and there we go, hello world. So that's the application running. So that's shown us how to deploy on the command line, but we don't always want to have to type all of that information in. So if we now delete that application, and come back into the editor, I'm going to create one more file, and this is the manifest. And again, I can copy this from the exercise. And you notice that we've also included the stack command here, and we've specified the build pack. So don't forget to save that file. And then I can now just simply do cf push, because all of the rest of the information is in the manifest. Sorry, one thing you've got to remember to do is go and update the name because the other one was already taken. So again, save that file and then do a cf push. And this is deploying it. And the error, we are now running again. So just launch it, and again we can see that we're running our application. If I click in, I can see that I'm using the Go build pack, and I've got my one instance of 64 meg of memory running. And that completes exercise 7A.